Hello everyone, first video of the channel, official video of the series of Reimaged. I'll pop that up on screen now. So, what that's going to be, I'll explain simply, is memories that we all have, but of course in this case it's my memories, but I'll try and make that as relatable as possible. And it's going to be something that's quite vivid to me, something I can imagine, like described. And then there's going to be a lot of reasons why I've chose that memory. It's going to be like emotional aspects. And then I'm going to try and combine these and make a piece of art, design, interaction, something that can display that. That's as simply put as it can be. So just a little side note of why I've chose to do this series is just because when applying, I took a while applying for loads of design jobs, and I was going, what am I good at design? What makes me different? What? Because it's the hardest thing to do sometimes, and I feel like people can hopefully relate to this, and I mean hopefully, because hopefully no one's blowing smoke up their arse and think they can, but it's what are you good at? Like, it's knowing it, it's being able to admit you're good at something. It's difficult for some, but it's difficult. And for me, I just didn't know for a long time what made me different from someone that's really good at CAD, someone that's really good at sketching, someone that's really good at market research, stuff like this. I didn't know where my specialty was residing within. And I think now I realised through that job search, through trying to understand what made me different, how can I appeal to different people, I think what I became best at when I was studying and while I still, have eyes, is observation. It's the ability to take in everything around me, and kind of subconsciously and digest that in certain ways that maybe some others wouldn't look at it. And I think that's become a strong part of what I know about design, art, and human interaction. It's just something that some people don't think about. And that's what's made this series what it is, because I'm taking something from my observation. It could be a street, it could be, and I'm combining the emotional aspect of that to create quite a vivid image of a memory. That's all. This is obviously quite common and in practice by many, but I think that's what I'm good at. So I'm going to give that a go, and I'm hoping that this will spark interest in others to sort of see the world a bit differently, and think about certain memories, certain places, and the emotions it brings, and how your concept of that place is maybe skewed. Maybe it was a good thing, a bad thing. It's opening people's minds up to see things differently. That's what I like doing for myself, and hopefully other people can start seeing this the way I think I can see it. And I don't want to sound really like cocky. This is what I'm saying. It's a really difficult balance, but I think that's something I really enjoy, and I think some people might not look at things like that, and I think it's quite important to look at things like that at times. So yeah, sorry, I don't want to rant because I'm aware this is an episode and I want to get on with things, but yeah, I just want this to be a sort of safe place for people to explore the same emotions, and be interested in the art and the concept, and yeah, that's it really. And yes, I promise the next episodes won't be as long drawn out as this, because I just need to explain what it's about. It's the first episode, so cut me some slack, guys. If you're one of these people putting this on while you fell asleep, I've probably done a good job at making you fall asleep there. But anyway, let's start. So what's the first re-image that I'm gonna make? So I've been thinking about these things. This is what sparked on this series. I've been thinking about these things, these images, these memories that bring a sense of like happiness. When I think about that place, I feel a bit like cold, sad. it's stuff like this. How can one image, one place convey such a strong range of emotions? And I want to display that and see if my final product can make me feel that way by looking at that, because I think that's really powerful. There was a few things that came to mind quite quickly. Recently I was going back home for Christmas, of course, and you know, sometimes it's just the little things, and looking out that train window, and I'm from Greenock, if anyone knows, and there's Dumbarton Castle. It's on this sort of rocky island just across the water. When you hit a certain part on the train, it's just seeing that, knowing you're very close to home, and just the sort of the kind of the beauty of that area, just like sort of going under the radar. People probably drive by it every day, don't think about it, but when you've sort of removed yourself from an area for so long, you come back, you start seeing things like that as, wow, this is a beautiful place, and that just makes me feel really nostalgic, really happy, really warm. It's just so comforting. But yeah, again, all it is me just looking out of a train window. So I'm now going to try, and I thought today, I'm going to start off small. It's the first episode. I'm just going to make a little sketch, maybe colour in a little bit of that specific thing. Yeah, and we're going to just explore them emotions and what influences my drawings in a certain way, because of the emotional aspect. Now I'm just going to ramble a little bit when I'm doing this here, because I want to explain the part of this being that I'm not going to be very, very detailed with this. I just want this to be my perception of this. I don't want to look back at any images I've got, if I can. I want to sort of have this image kind of ironed out in my imagination of exactly what this is like, and I just want that to be as kind of accurate as possible. Can be a lot to ask, because you know, this might not be, you might not remember things exactly how they are, but I think that's part of the charm of what makes a piece of art as well your own, because that's sometimes, if you're not having reference, that's kind of how you actually see the thing. That's your perception of it. Perception's such a powerful thing. Being able to, you know, view something in your own unique way is just really quite an interesting concept. You know, and obviously, guys, bear with me, I'm a little rusty. I've not done lots of creative work for a long time. The last thing I'll pop on screen now. I made a painting for my partner for her Christmas, just to go alongside. Just a bit of an inside jokey thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I think that made me realise, you know, in this next year, I need to start achieving things that I like again. I need to start making things again. I love making things. It's part of who I am. I think we can all appreciate that we've got our own things that make us who we are. And creating things for me is one of them things. That's supremely important to who I am. And maybe, you know, people start enjoying this series, hopefully, like, if there's things that people have been holding back on, things that they love doing, hopefully this is a bit of inspiration for them to get back into what you love doing. What do you love doing? What's something that you've been holding back on? And, you know, do you think this year you could maybe recapture some of that? Like I said, this is going to be pretty vague. It's going to be very basic, quite flat. I'm aware of that. Also dealing with, you know, a lot of perspective. There's a lot of perspective going on in this image. I feel like already in my mind, I know where I am. And I think that's sorry, I'm just checking that this is in the shot, okay? I think that's a good thing for me. I'm happy with this being, you know, decently accurate. I don't need it to be picture perfect, you know. If you're Scottish, you know ScotRail. It's a good old ScotRail train, as we know it. The Guruk train, if anyone knows that in particular. And like I said, this people do know that. I don't want them to think, oh, I'm trying to make a photo accurate version of that. It's just, this is what I think, this is what I see. You're not as close to the road, I will say that. But that's okay. That's okay. We can work with that. There's a little bit of like islandy, like beachiness going on here, rockiness. I just want that to be a little bit seen before I go into what would be in the distance. Got this sort of really impressive rock structure. You sort of only about here you start to see the other part forming, but it's just so predominant, this island. Again, it kind of goes right back. You're probably not even going to see the rest of it. You've got a castle on here. I'd say the most important aspect of this is just the rock itself. It's sort of like, it's kind of overbearing. Again, I am rusty, so bear with me guys, because I am very aware that this seems quite flat. You know, and this obviously is quite a flat image. I've purposely sort of made it look like that. I don't want this to look incredible. That wasn't part of the idea here. I just need this to look like what I see it as in my head. Yeah, so I think I'm at the sort of looking back stage. Don't know if that looks a bit more clear to anyone. Yeah, not incredible, nothing crazy. But here's where we're gonna get a bit fun with this. Now, like I said, we're gonna say a few things here, right? What does this bring me? Comfort, right? That's one thing, comfort. What else does this bring me? Nostalgia, right? Excuse the writing. I'm not best known for that. Comfort, nostalgia. What else? Because right now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm thinking, when I'm in this place, how do I feel? You know, you feel a certain way when you're anywhere. Something so important to you is like bringing you happiness, relief, emotions. Why do you feel that way? And I think comfort, nostalgia is always one. I think there's a little sense of pride in this. I'm from this place. This place is beautiful. I can't believe I'm from here. That sort of pride of, this is an amazing place. Not to get too political, because I'm Scottish, you need to be careful how you say pride. But that is something I think about. The beauty of this place, the comfort it brings me, and the nostalgia. There's a little bit of warmth, which is quite a stark contrast to me being from obviously quite a cold, wet place. So yeah, Yeah, so when I'm thinking about comfort, nostalgia, pride, warmth, first things first, I'm just wanting, I don't know if this is going to be a horrible angle, but I'm just wanting to think about what colours sort of give off them emotions. Very simply. I'm thinking, obviously, that's not sharp, it's a good start. Thinking obviously like a red. Don't really want to be deep red, but red for the warmth, right? Some red. But definitely orange. Orange and warmth, yeah. Definitely feeling that. Nostalgia. I feel like in nostalgia there's a lot of muted tones. Maybe even like more even a grey as well. That's sort of like blurred out memory. And some peach in there. These sort of colours. Now objectively, the train would be sort of blue, be a bit grey. Probably look quite miserable, to be honest. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to transform that. I want this to look warm and vivid, and I want it to basically tell a different story. So yeah, I'm just going to play around with colours and I'll be right back at you. So I've had a little look around. I think these sort of tones are giving me that sort of pride, nostalgia. You know, the nostalgia is kind of like grey, a bit like there's a lot of brown. I feel, I don't know what brings that thought on, but that's just the whole experiment of this idea and this project. I like blue being like a pride sort of colour. It feels quite strong, prestigious. That would also fit in quite well with what this image would probably look like in person. And a lot of these warm colours, obviously. There's a lot of comfort for me in like a yellow, maybe more of like, maybe pink. Not quite like a purple, but more of a pink. But this is my colour palette really. Some more colour as well, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get cracking on and we'll do a bit of a time lapse. Alright everyone, here's future me doing a bit of a voiceover. So yeah, I thought I'd start just basically putting in some of these colours where they fit best. So as you can see here, I'm doing the water, some of the sort of rocky sandy beach, getting these sort of the shading in on the form of the rock to differentiate it, and yeah, just going in with some basic colour on the inside of the train. So I'm keeping all the warm colours on the inside and then all the cold sort of colours, the ones sort of more relating to the pride aspect on the outside, which is fitting for what them colours would be like in person anyway. So yeah, you can see I've got some quite vivid, strong reds and oranges. This train itself would be blue, so blue, white, grey, so yeah, it's interesting to look at it from this perspective, and still me looking at it now feeling like this is exactly how I imagined it. I'm just putting that sort of brown for the sort of nostalgia on the walls of the train. And yeah, I thought I'd add a bit of the blue just for contrast on the inside. I thought this actually came off really well. But yeah, to anyone watching, I hope you really like the concept of this, and sort of I hope I've explained it as best as I can, because this is something really interesting to me, and something I've really wanted to make a series on. So, oh, and also to add here, I'm doing a bit of a screen effect on the window with the orange to signify the warmth, and I thought that came off quite well. But yeah, you can see the final result here. Obviously, like I said, nothing special, but from my perspective, this is exactly how I would have imagined this.
And yeah, this was just a really fun activity. So yeah, from future me, thank you for watching if you have this far.
Yeah, anyway, that's the end result. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Just a quick little, it's nothing incredible, of course. I don't even know what's on the back of this, some random thing, but yeah, nothing incredible. Just sort of like an image from my head completely from my head that I can now look at, and you know, that's the image. And it's completely in the wrong colour scheme, just to accentuate some of the emotions I feel when thinking about this specific place. And yeah, that's what this whole series is about. So obviously I've just done a very quick example of what I want this to be, just so people can understand what I'm trying to get at. But of course, if people enjoy this, I can move on to bigger projects, such as, you know, actually making a prop or a painting. I've got loads of example work if people are interested in, because I know I've not really shown any work that displays that I'm anywhat good at anything, and this certainly isn't going to do that. It's just more of a fun idea and more of a thing like, you guys should try this, because it's a nice little thing to keep around. Now I'll put this up next to some of my work up there, and I'll be quite happy with that. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next episode or any other video on the channel. And if you've came this far, thank you for watching my first proper video. So yeah, cheers.